Hello, conscious leaders. So, a lot of people ask me why I started consciousleadership.org. So, today I want to share that story with you. And it's a story of a breakdown. As a lot of you do know, I've spent 14 years in finance on the financial markets, on trading floors. And at the end of my financial career, I was head of equities for Europe for a French bank. And so, I thought I knew a lot about leadership, about management, about what it meant to actually be strong and show some strength and all of that. When I left finance at the end of 2012, I decided to give myself 2 years to explore all the things that I was deeply longing to explore: self development, self awareness, consciousness, you name it. I really tried loads of things. And the things that actually I thought were powerful on me, I decided to train in them so that actually I could help people with those. One of the things I did in July 2013 is spending a month in Brazil. And throughout this month, I actually trained, I was initiated in a lineage of Mexican healers. And it was a very powerful lineage because it was unbroken for 1,200 years. And when I say unbroken, it means that it has always been passed on from generation to generation and continued to actually, be practiced. So throughout this initiation, one day we had to break some wooden boards with our hands. And I don't know about you, but for me, it's always been quite obvious throughout my life, no matter my level of consciousness, that there were things that I knew I was going to be able to do, like challenges, and things that from the start were like, oh, this is gonna be difficult. This is gonna be challenging, right? And throughout those 2 weeks, we were doing loads of stuff that honestly were, challenging, and we were powering through, and we were learning, and we were walking on broken glass, and we were doing some fires initiations. But this thing that was about breaking a wooden board with my hands, I was like, oh my god, how am I going to do this? It just doesn't feel like it's something that a human being can do. And so we were going through this, and some of my other basically team colleagues who were part of this initiation with me were going through it, and they were like, "Pom!" and they were breaking the board, and I was like, wow. And when my turn comes, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna give this a try. And so I tried, and and then my hand hurts, and the wooden board is not broken, right? And I was not surprised. My teacher told me, go back and sit on the bench, which I did. And then she called me another time, and she was like, okay, try again. And same thing happens, right? I'm like, it's not going to work, and it doesn't work. And she sends me back on the bench. And then I start to cry, and I start to, really kind of release some, I don't know what I was releasing at the time, but I really burst into tears, and it was like bigger than me, and I couldn't stop my tears. And what I want you to know is that, throughout all those trainings I've done, a lot of people cry, and I don't cry much. And it was something that I was very proud of. I was like, I'm not crying, everybody's crying, and, I've done so much work on myself, and, I'm not crying. And this was coming from all these years on the trading floor, because when you are on the trading floor, and especially when you're a woman on the trading floor, you don't cry. Because if you cry, you're dead, right? And of course, that's a metaphor. But this is really it, right? So when I was doing all these courses, I was so strong within myself that I was not going to cry, and I could handle not crying and all of that. And I was trying to break that wooden board. I really kind of collapsed into crying, and I broke down in tears, which for me, in my leadership understanding, was a real breakdown. And then my teacher calls me again, and she builds me up. She kind of takes the board away from me, and she's like, are you gonna do this? And she, in a very very intentionate the way she was doing this. And I try again, and I break the board. And as I break the board, she takes me in her arms. And what happened after was a huge lesson for me. There was this woman who actually was she was a student as well, and she was older than me, and her name is Eva. And Eva, if you look at me today, just send me a message. I'd love to hear about you. But she comes to me, and I had a lot of respect for this woman in how she was showing up in the course with her knowledge, her wisdom, and all of that. And she comes towards me, and she said, Marika, I will follow you anywhere. And this really, for me, was a bit like, wow, I just burst down into tears. I completely broke down. And she comes to see me, that woman that I respect, and she tells me I would follow you everywhere. I was like, I need to think about this, right? And this completely for me shifted my whole paradigm around leadership, which was actually not about being strong and showing up as strong. It was actually showing who you are when the going gets tough, right? Showing who you are and how you're going to respond to challenges. And if you are being challenged and you're breaking down in tears, it really shows that actually you're going through something difficult. You are being extremely challenged. But if you can come back from this, and if you can actually power through and break the board, which was actually what was being called for at the time, right? This really shows you leadership, because this shows that you can tap into some strength deep within you when you need to, and when actually things are difficult. And for me, I realized at this day that actually leadership was that. Leadership was actually, it's okay to be vulnerable. Vulnerability can be strength. And it's not about this kind of mask and image that we put on. It's actually the opposite of that. And so this was, the first for me kind of trigger was like, I need to do something about this, right? I need to share that. I need to be part of the change of the leadership paradigm, because actually we are not really understanding what is leadership. And so this is the beginning of consciousleadership.org. So that's it for today. If you have enjoyed, or if you've learned something, or if it has inspired you in any way, do not hesitate to like, to share, to give me your thoughts or your comments. And I'll speak with you soon. Bye.